to be what everyone is currently doing. It's because these little pieces of cardboard are currently crushing the stock market right now. If you look at the data over the past 20 years, the S&P 500 is currently up 421%, which gives it a very respectable rate of return of 8.79% per year. However, compared to the world of collectibles, these are rookie numbers, because if you look at baseball cards is currently up 716%, basketball cards is currently up 1,174%, and football cards, this is American football, is currently
told you just a little while ago about a record-breaking price for this card. Take a look at it. It features Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, sold for $12.9 million over the weekend. This is the most ever paid for a sports card. We didn't know who had bought said card. Nobody knew. It was an anonymous purchase at the time. And as we're talking about it on the air, I get a text message from the man who says he is the buyer of that card. And we want to welcome him on the broadcast. We literally organized this in the last 10 minutes. Kevin O'Leary, you are the buyer of that card, sir?
I'm one of three. We formed a syndicate so we didn't have to compete with each other. Matt Allen, Paul Warshaw, both legends in the hobby. Shine is the nickname of Matt Allen. He was the guy that did the research, but we bought it together. Yes, we did. And I'm very proud to own it. I've been looking at this asset class now for 3 years. It's an extraordinary return, as you just said yourself on your own card.
Yeah, so hold on. But so you've been looking at this specific card. Do you own a lot of other basketball cards?
Yes, we do. We do. We've been very, very specific. I've kind of looked at the research back in contemporary art and modern art. The majority of the capital gains accrue to the rarest Pollocks or, Warhols, pieces that are extraordinarily priced, you think, and then you wait a decade and look at them again and see you get extraordinary capital gains. It's a very thin market, but as an alternative asset class, I'm all in, Andrew.
When it comes to investing money, stocks, bonds, crypto, it's what a lot of people think about. But you may not have considered those old Pokemon cards.
Yeah, definitely didn't. As Victor Williams shows us, Pokemon cards are having a moment.
Well, if you're anything like me, you probably set these cards down one day and they were never seen again. But if you're actually able to find them, you just might be sitting on a gold mine.
No way.
Long lines, empty shelves, the demand for Pokemon cards right now is at an all-time high.
It is pretty normal. It's a weekly occurrence for a lot of collectors and kids who can't get their hands on items, so they're forced to wait out in the morning.
Retailers are struggling to keep products on the shelves, some now issuing limits. Cards found in this Pokemon machine at Kroger's all across the country are also mostly empty.
No one could have seen this coming. Now you got celebrities collecting, athletes, actors, everyone, you name it, is collecting.
So, conclusion of this video. I still think history is going to repeat itself. Yes, let's talk about the negatives. There are more people now than ever hoarding, collecting, closet investing Pokemon Scarlet Violet. It is now more than ever, and that is no way to discount is a negative. It's a negative aspect. It's a negative line item, okay? Now, number two, the market's so hot, we have a higher than average probable chance of a market reset, a market correction, a market crash, or a macroeconomic crash on Wall Street, a gas price, oil surge, inflation, maybe wars, economies, politics, anything can happen on a macro level. Number three, crypto is very hot right now. When I say crypto, Bitcoin, Ethereum is the only thing I give a shit about. Bitcoin and Ethereum are still incredibly high. I don't care if they're off their all-time highs, but Bitcoin's like 110, 115 bouncing around. If that thing crashes back to 60, 70, 80, or if Bitcoin spikes to 150, 200, either one of those scenarios is going to have a direct correlation to the Pokemon market. Again, I take a lot of crypto payments from a lot of people who buy a lot of high-end stuff. Actually, give you guys an idea. No, I don't want to disclose that. But again, in the last 2 days, I had another couple of patrons, 3 people, who all did $30,000 to $50,000 transactions, each buying sealed cases of, Sword and Shield and Scarlet Violet from me. I had a patron buy a $20,000 case of Evolving Skies from me. I had a second patron buy Evolving Skies, Fusion, another one. for 30, 40,000 range for a couple cases. You know, these are, I don't give any major discounts, but people just want a safe source and they want to lock in their crypto gains. Now, again, even if you send crypto, you're still supposed to pay your taxes, folks. Remember that. But you do you. I can't control what you're going to report and what you do. You do what you think is right. So, in general, I stand by the same thing I did standing here 5 years ago. No, not this location. I didn't have this location 5 years ago because I didn't have a need for this much extra storage. But I'm going to tell you all the same thing I said in 2017 with the Rudy Pokemon bathroom, the 2020, the Roaring Skies reprint of everybody making fun of me, all the way to the Forbidden Light Ultra Prism era of 2018, into Sun and Moon, all the way into the COVID era, all the way into the Crash, all the way into the Scarlet Violet, Base and Mr. P and all this stuff when everything was shit, blah, blah, blah. You know, the market moves. There's never going to be a time where there's not problems. Wherever you spin that wheel, everywhere on the wheel of the market cycle has the same amount of problems. If the market crashes, we have a certain type of problem. If the market booms and is FOMO, which is what we're seeing now, we have a different type of problem. If the market's flat with no growth and no tanking, we have kangaroo market sideways hopping along, and people get impatient and people are leveraged, they can't get margins, and rip and shippers are having problems because there's so much product. No one's going to pay premium prices if it's just piled up to the ceiling and everybody has it. Every situation is going to have equal amount of negative, positive, problems, drama, and stress. The difference is, as we move through different cycles, it all feels different because we're faced with different types of problems. The problems will always remain. The type of problem will always shift. And for those of you who are always trying to run a business, sell Pokemon, rip and ship, flip things, giveaways, contests, sweepstakes, whatever the shit you're in, remember, folks, this market is a spinning door. People always join this industry, and they always leave this industry with an average lifespan of 4 to 7 months, with the average being 6 to 9 months, probably 6 months, I would say. So remember, folks, whatever you do today, in 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 1 year, and 5 years, no one's going to remember, no one's going to give a shit, and the customers you think are special are most likely going to be gone. So you must face your business, you must handle risk, you must avoid, and not, if you feel a customer is uncomfortable, if someone's doing disputes and chargebacks, I feel bad, we all deal with it. If you have bad people, the best thing you can do is get rid of them. They may be good people or bad people, but if it's outside the risk tolerance, if their behavior is erratic, or if your instinct is simply uncomfortable, there is nothing wrong with declining to do business with people who are higher risk.